Okay, well, I guess I'll be coming in just a moment. Hello, cyber babies. Welcome to another great day in our lives. No matter what's going on, make it a great day. Just make sure that you're just, you know what? I'm just gonna do the doggone thing. That's just what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna have us as great of a time as we can. So joining me today is Harley Wallen. Harley is an award-winning filmmaker, actor from Sweden. Oh, he's from Sweden. We got a nice guy from Sweden. And he's been featured in a lot of major publications and has been doing so many great things from, being taught by Deadline, Variety, Daily Mail, even Tiger Beat magazine. I didn't even know they still was making Tiger Beat. I didn't know it was still a public. So you learn something new every day. And so he's I'm confused. Okay, I'm just a bit confused. Okay, so hooey, Harley has directed and starred in films, Crime Thriller, Betrayed, starring the legendary star John Savage, The Deer Hunter, which had its premiere in the world famous Grauman's Chinese Theater. That's down there on Hollywood Boulevard. You can go there anytime, I'm telling you, day or night, and there are going to be people walking up and down Hollywood Boulevard just to see the stars, just to have the stars at their feet. Okay, and he's done a lot of things. He's been in, because it's Halloween coming up, and he was in Compton, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Richard Tyson, Kindergarten Cop, that was with Arnold Schwarzenegger, if I remember, and Billy Wirth from The Lost Boys. The indie action film, Abstruse, starring Hollywood icon Tom Sizemore, who is just a brilliant actor. Black Hawk Down, and Dennis Haskins from Saved by the Bell, the family film. Bennett Song, starring Tara Reid, and she's a lady from American Pie. This is what this individual has done throughout their career, and they have a sequel called Bennett Song Holiday, because it's time for the holiday movies and what have you to come out. And we are welcome. Hey there, hi.
Hello,
baby. Wait a minute. Are you talking to me? Can you hear me?
I can hear.
I see your face. I see your face. Okay, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing all I can, baby, and the easy ones twice. And the easy ones twice. So tell everybody, I was giving you this whole big, your whole resume and everything that you've been doing. So let's talk about Harley. Where were you when you were like 8, 9 years old, if you can remember back that far?
I had just moved from the countryside of Sweden into the third largest city of Sweden. And
wait a minute. Okay, I know Sweden, the country. What city are you from?
So I was raised and lived most of my life in Malmö.
Malmö.
It's across the bridge from Copenhagen, Denmark. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the humble beginnings. But I was from the countryside, and I lived out in the country first. Parents moved into the city, and I was just kind of figuring out who I was as a human, having no real clue at that point. I wanted to be I was competing in judo, and I was I like breakdancing. That's kind of the two things that I know. I love music.
Hold up. Wait, breakdancing made it all the way to Sweden?
Yes, I was Scandinavian champion once upon a time.
How about that? So are you excited that the Olympics are including breakdancing as one of the skill sets?
Oh my goodness, yes. And for anyone who hasn't seen breaking for the last, 15, 20 years, it is a spectacle now. It's incredible. It is so advanced what they can do. When you look back at the humble beginnings of breakdancing, mm-hmm. It is just like gymnastics, a different type of gymnastics event. So it's very, very cool. I love it.
I mean, you all have gone. If you see me breakdancing, I've broken something. I done broke a hip. Just watching the kids, I mean, they would just come out on the street. Everybody had a cardboard, that we were literally
Yeah,
saving cardboard boxes and taping, breaking them down and duct taping them so that the kids could be out there. And it was like, okay. Remember, it was like rap music. They said it wasn't going to last. Rap just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
oh
And
yeah,
break dancing. I mean, as an Olympic sport, that is really something. So when did you say what was the transition
yeah,
like from you coming from Sweden? Because I know one word in Sweden, Swedish. That's all I that's all I got. That's all I got. I got hugs and love, and people will know what I mean. So, where did the transition in your head go from being a break dancer and doing what you're doing now?
Mhm.
And now you're a filmmaker, you're an actor. What drug you? Okay, don't say drug them because we get drugged into Hollywood. It's like the mafia. You want to get
Yeah,
in, and they get you in, they link you up, and then you. Say, I'm not gonna do this crazy, and then you go, okay, okay. So
yeah.
when did that happen
No,
for you?
it was funny because I landed myself uh, once because of the breakdancing. I ended up on a syndicated TV show in Sweden that had on live guests every week. They would have a new, and it was kind of Osmond's show, cabaret style, and it also
Mhm.
kind of had a story. So it was really, really nice because you get both of it. But so what they started doing was when they had a one-liner, a two-liner, instead of hiring an actor, they would come and ask us, the dancers, and I started acting, and I kind of fell in love with acting. So that's how it began, I guess.
You remember your first acting job when you get on the set and you go, and they're gonna pay me for this.
I
Okay.
know. My day rate tripled when I went from being a dancer, like a dancer for the musical act,
Mhm.
to having one line. I think I bought tanning lotion from the store. I got one line and tripled my pay rate. I'm like, yay! I want to do this again.
Okay. And just the look of joy on your face right now. Is it
Yeah.
like that for you every time you jump out of bed? Do you kind of pinch yourself and go, what the heck am I thinking? You know,
I I love it though. I really do because there's so many times in your life that it's hard to follow your dreams, and you second guess it, and you feel like maybe you don't deserve it, or maybe I do, but I'm too scared, or what if this and what if that? They play in your head. So when you finally let go and you pursue it, it's hard, and then it gets a little easier, and then a little more, and then a little more, and it's like you start feeling that same thing again where it's like it was all worth it. I was meant to be doing this. That the trials just weed out the weak and the wounded. But that it is how it get. I mean, Sylvester Stallone, The Rock, like all these guys that you hear about that came to Hollywood, half of them were down to a couple of dollars in their pockets. Stallone sold his dog. Schwarzenegger had like $20. I think we're all supposed to be a little tested to say, is this really what you want?
you know what? It's different for women.
Yeah.
And to know that, and the fact that you're willing to say, this is how I felt. I got
Mhm.
scared, because you got to be manly man.
Yeah.
You got to man up. You can't be fear. You cannot show fear. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. I was
Mhm.
minding my own business. I wasn't bothering Hollywood or anything like that. I was, I went from
Mhm.
driving a school bus to being on a white radio station in my hometown. They had me on I'm like, are they on drugs? Should I be trying to find out who their drug dealer is? Because this is kind of like real sick and twisted. And then you get in and you knew that this was meant for you. You knew that this
Yeah.
is what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And there's so many different avenues in our business. Everybody always thinks, you just got to be a star. You got to be on TV. You got to be
Mhm.
on camera. You have decided that you were going to wear many hats. Where did that decision come from? From being a break dancer, now you done came all the way to Los Angeles. Now, was this the first place in America you came that you said, what did your people back in Sweden say to you when you said, I'm going to Hollywood?
Well, I think they, they'd heard me talk about it since I was little. My mom said I was 5 when I said I was going to move to America and be an actor. It's been in me for a long time. So I think a lot of people would say I'm not that surprised, but they would definitely
See, it's always the but.
No, but it's one of them things that, like, there are so many people that talk a lot, but they don't drive and go get it. I think that's the mix between it. Michael Jordan didn't become one of the greatest ever because he was talented. It was because he had talent and dedication. You have to have a lot of different things, and just one isn't going to get it. You have to have dedication. You have to have the talent. You have to have the will. You have to have perseverance at times.
Discipline.
Discipline is big.
You gotta be disciplined because it's so easy to get caught up in the negativity.
Yeah.
And when you know that this is what, I don't care what walk of life you're going, what path you're going down. When you decide that this is what you're gonna do, it's like all bets are off. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not getting right. You got to get rid of the naysayers. Because they're gonna be people. So they're gonna be like, so Harley, what is your major malfunction? Why would you want to go to Hollywood? So was LA the first place you landed when you got here?
No, actually, I said to myself I was going to wait to go to LA until A wanted me there, so to speak, because I heard so many horror stories about people going there premature and that the city will eat them up. And I said the best thing I can do is to find a community of people that want to be better and do better, and then build and build and build until it's so good that Hollywood can't deny me anymore.
Right.
So that was my plan.
So now, was that your plan or was that God's plan? Because we got a plan, and then if you're a faithful person, and I could just see the spirit and the light around you that you believe in a higher force, and you're okay, I want to do this, Harley, and God goes, and she was like, okay, really, is this really what you want to do? And he said to you what when you told God your plan?
Oh my God! So all I do is I wiggle and I move and I wiggle and I move, and it takes me in a direction that I'm supposed to be in. So when I say mine, it is so much. It's not so much me deciding as it is things come together for me a lot.
The universe will open up and conspire for your success when you know, and even when you know. That oftentimes it's going to be doubt. Okay, are they going to like me? One of the things I hated most in this industry is auditions.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, okay. You want me to do what? And when they put me in a movie, and in another movie, and then I wrote a book. When you talk about the different hats that you learn to wear, when you're taking off those hats and you gotta maneuver through it, you gotta go, okay, what am I gonna do? Okay, so you didn't land in LA first. Where did you first land? And then you came here anyway.
Well, I was in Michigan. I had a couple of short stints in Miami. I went to New York, but I moved to Michigan.
Like deliberately.
Yes.
And you know it's cold.
Yes.
And it got
but
snow.
I'm from Sweden. So
okay, so you were like used to it, huh?
Oh yeah, that was easy for me.
Is the weather really bad in Sweden?
It's not that it's bad.
Like in Michigan?
I think if you enjoy the seasons, then you'll enjoy it. But if you don't, then it's not for you. I think a lot of people who are in, especially LA, get used to it's pretty much always nice. So that's a bonus.
Oh, see, it is. I'm from Ohio, from Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
they called us the mistake on the lake. That hawk would come off of Lake Erie, and you go outside and you just chilled.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's brutal.
And I was born in the wintertime. I don't like snow. I don't
It's
even like
brutal.
snow-capped mountains. We have 4 grandchildren. Do you have kids? Are you married?
Yes, I have. I have a wife and I have 5 kids, 2 little ones and 3 bigger ones.
With, with the same baby mama?
I have 2.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got older kids. How old are your children?
20, 21, 22, and then the little ones are 8 and 10.
Oh yeah, okay. So you've been there, you've done that. They've survived teenagehood. You
Yeah.
know, were you amazed that you survived teenagehood? What was one of the
Yes.
stupidest things you did when you were a
It
teenager?
is the beating of a lifetime. Oh my God! You
The
will never
beating
worry
of a
that much in your
lifetime.
life again.
Really? Now, were your parents strict?
I think
Wait, I
my
need you to come
dad
back
was
on mic.
probably
I need you to get back
more.
on the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were strict? Now, do you have brothers and
My
sisters?
dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes,
Where
a
do
little
you fall
brother
in
and a
line?
little sister. I'm oldest.
Oh, they expect so much from you.
Yeah.
And did your siblings have to listen to you? Watch what you're doing. Your siblings are watching you. Are you insane?
Oh
Don't
yeah.
take my children. And I was like, wait, okay, well. I'm the second of 6. So that's why when it comes, in birth order, they're saying that some of us,
Yes.
are just I have an older sister, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
And they kept saying to me, watch what you're doing, watch what you're saying, because your siblings are watching you. And I was like,
Yep.
okay, I don't care. I mean, my kid.
That's funny. No, but
Family
it is a lot of
dynamics is
pressure. It is a lot of
it
pressure
is.
to be oldest because you're always supposed to be the example and you don't get the same opportunities to say and do dumb things.
Oh no. Oh, See, my dumb thing was I took one of my mother's sheets. She was a big linen person, God rest her soul. She loved towels and sheets and, face cloths, and you weren't allowed to call them rags to wash your body, that whole thing. And I took one of her good sheets, one of the flat sheets, and I tied it around my neck. And I went up on the roof of our project apartment and I said, I'm going to jump off the roof and I'm going to fly. I jumped off the roof, fell into the tree, tore up her sheets. I was on punishment that entire.
Oh, I can only imagine.
When you do stupid stuff, have you done something crazy and you go, okay, Harley, what were you thinking? What was one of your dumb things that you did and you went, this is
there were several, but
you had a lot.
Yeah. No, I remember the biggest one was probably for some reason we snuck out and me and my friends got a hold of alcohol. We were like 15 and we broke into a judo club that we knew of and drank, but had never really drank before. So we got so drunk that we fell asleep in there.
And then
yeah, that was not awesome.
See, and that's what you did. And who found y'all drunk behinds in the judo club?
Oh, the
did y'all
guy
wake
who
up?
came in to open the place in the morning. Yeah.
And you realize
pretty embarrassing.
I can't believe is this what drunk feel like? I don't think I want to do this.
Well, and then you have to be humiliated, throwing up the next day and have your mom say, I told you so.
Oh.
So
yeah, all you can do is puke and listen. Puke and listen.
That's right.
Because you can't bring your head up out the toilet because it feels like it's all in your face right here.
Yes.
Tell me how did you meet your wife?
So that's a really funny thing because I have a very beautiful wife, and every time I get to tell the story, usually people know, they've seen her, but I always say it was at a modeling show. But you'd never guess who was the model and who was the bartender.
How could you not guess who's the model and who's the bartender? Was that one of the hats you wore too?
So I was the model.
Oh, you were the model and she was the bartender?
It was a charity event and it was a blast. But it was one of those funny chemistry things. We just connected and literally have been connected ever since that day. Like we've been texting or calling or whatever all the way up until the first date, and first date turned into being love at first sight, and amazing energy in the same directions. Best friend at the same time. Uh, also great mom. Just a good human, good partner.
Mhm. And
So
that's great to hear
that's
because we have so
everything.
much turmoil going on in the world. It's
Yeah,
great to hear a love story and that it is still possible and that you
yeah.
can do it. Because people always think, they always say to me, "Well, Mother Love, I want to have a marriage like you do." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if you can handle that. This is
It's a lot
work."
of work too.
People don't understand it's not
Yeah.
all flowers, love, and kisses.
No.
You have to, this is my number one thing. I always want to, first of all, I never thought I would get married because my attention span is too
Yeah.
short.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that I got to marry my very best friend.
That's the best.
Because all that love and kisses and, oh baby, you look good and you a
Yeah.
Hollywood and we just love everything, and you take off all that makeup and it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Okay, now how do we make this work? How do we keep this going? And
Yeah.
it is work. It's
It
a
is.
marathon. It's not a sprint. You say and you're standing for. See, this is what tricked me out. When you got ready, let me ask you, when you got ready to get married, did thoughts go through your head like, what are you doing? Why are you doing
Oh,
this? Are you
oh,
insane?
to some degree, you always have to. It's such a big decision
Uh-huh.
to
Oh,
to to do a life altering thing like that. So of course you have to do that. But I don't think it has to feel like you're crazy for doing it. I think you'd
oh
almost
no,
be
we're
crazy
crazy
not
for
to.
doing it. Don't even try to. No, married
You
people are crazy.
Yes,
We are
because it is.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to be
uh,
this much.
the
Okay, wait a
odds
minute.
are against us, without a doubt.
Uh, let me ask you this. Okay, in a relationship,
Yes,
I believe there's the crazy person and the person that takes care of the crazy person. Which one are you?
I'm definitely the take care of.
Oh, you take really?
Yeah,
Are you?
yeah.
Where's your wife? You really are the one that takes care of the crazy person. So you're saying your wife is crazy, right? You know that.
No, but I
I
think
get it.
it depends on in what way. I think
Hmm.
that's what I think is so beautiful is it's a give and take. It's
Hmm.
the Paula Abdul, 2 steps forward, one step back, whatever. As
Whatever.
long
I,
as
I
it's
get you.
that's how it goes, right?
And you got
Yeah,
to roll with
you
it.
gotta. Yep.
And one of the things I think that will sustain a long lived relationship is being honest with yourself
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
and then being honest that you're trusting this person. When you think about it, you're trusting this
Yeah.
person with your life,
Yeah.
with your sanity, with your likes and your dislikes, and the fact that they love us in spite of ourselves. I know my husband love me in spite of myself because
Oh yeah.
he got, oh, you know what, something wrong with you the crazy chick. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm the crazy one. I have to stay in a controlled environment at all times. You see,
Yeah.
I'm right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
They're like, don't venture out. Don't touch any buttons. I'm not going to touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be calling all the way to New Zealand, waiting on me to do it. And that's
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 funny.
what's important. And the fact that when you can make somebody laugh and you make them feel better just by seeing the smile on your face and the
Yeah.
smile on her face and with the kids, and you go, yeah. Okay, I'm still waiting for him to come and get
Feels
me.
so good.
And
Yeah.
our son is in his 40s. And I keep saying, who is this guy coming in here with a beard with gray hair in it? I could not have a person that I gave birth to. That's this.
Mhm.
And his kid, we got 4 grandkids. We got,
Yeah.
we have a grown up, he's 22, and we have 3 teenagers. And one is 17, and we have a set of fraternal twins, and they're
Mhm.
14, 15. They're at that stage and you're like, I don't know if I really like these people. You know what?
Mhm.
Teenagers make you understand why some species eat their young. Because you
Yeah.
get to a place, you're like,
Oh man, it is the battle of a lifetime. And the hardest part is they know everything.
they think they do.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know nothing. You know,
Yeah.
you
Oh
you
no.
really
All of your life experience is
out the window.
it's
And
gone.
then I don't know how did he get to that point? So when you got to the point and you deliberately moved to Michigan, when did you decide that this was the place for you, that Hollywood was where you needed to be? Not necessarily, I mean, you want to be there, but you need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what
think
made you
what
say this need is so great? Let me get my happy behind them, move to LA with the
the
rest of the freaks.
I think the very first time I knew uh, was when I had my very first premiere in LA. That's when LA felt like kind of home now.
Mhm.
So that was it. So that was 5 years ago when Betrayed. We had the premiere at the Chinese Theater,
Uh-huh.
and it was such a great night. And that was the night when me and LA
Kind of
finally
mess.
really kind of bonded
Mhm.
and became, as at least a second home, or if not the home. But yeah, I've been spending my whole life in so many places. I feel like my soul is a little spread out all over the place, which I like.
Which is a
I
good
really
thing because
do.
that's really a good thing. And I'm glad you said that. I like that my soul is all over the place. It's in so many different places. And
Yeah.
that you don't just say, I'm just going to be an actor. I'm just going to be a
Yeah.
producer. I'm just going to be a director. I'm going to be the And then what caused you to start wearing these multiple hats?
So I think, in Michigan, when we first got started, we had film incentives in Michigan that existed, and we ended up with some of the big Batman movies, etc. here,
Mhm.
and then they cut the film incentives, and suddenly being an actor here was not a fun thing. So I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And I decided I have to start making my own content, so that way there's a way for me and for us that are left here in Michigan after the incentives went away. How do we become, competitive with the rest of the film industry? So that's where it started. That was it.
And you see a need, and we really need, oh excuse me, good content. A lot of
Mm.
people think, oh, I can make a movie, and they don't understand all that goes into making a movie. And when
Oh
you're
yeah,
an independent producer, an independent director, you got to wear like 11 team hats. Everybody's going,
yep.
oh, that's why is that. Well, and then you got to deal with their lawyers, and then you got to deal with the, with the grading people. Okay, well, is this going to be an R-rated movie? Is it going to be PG? What are
Mhm.
we doing? How are we coming? And to see, that's why I'm not just, I am an awesome talk show host. Awesome. And I can do many things. I've
Yeah.
been doing this for a long time, since
Mm.
1977. And I
Wow.
ask myself all the time, have you just really lost your mind? Well, at this point, you really don't have a mind left. You just a spastic, crazy, like, and I like me. You gotta
Yeah,
like
but
yourself.
that's all that matters, though.
You have to like yourself. You have to
Ultimately.
enjoy who you are. And you seem like you enjoy being dad, husband,
Yeah.
actor, father. And all the time, a lot of marriages don't work, especially in this business. And you said
Mhm.
you're still in Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. So that
Yeah,
that's your
we live here. We obviously at this point spend a lot of time in
mm,
LA and Hollywood, but we don't live there. So Airbnb has been our best friend so far.
mm. What keeps you attracted to Michigan? And I won't hold that against you. I
I
really
You
won't.
know what?
Okay, let me get it out. Wait a minute. Let me just get it out. Okay, because I'm a Buckeye, and Michigan football and Ohio State football. We're just not friends. We're
Yeah,
really
they're a bit competitive, that's for
a
sure.
bit
A bit.
Didn't he say that just real nice? They're a bit competitive. How do you deal with, because it is such a competitive business that we're in, how are you able to cope with the ups and the downs? And now we're on strike. This is the longest strike we've been on, and for like ever. And
Yeah.
and people are standing with us. And when you see this, was
Mhm.
that was that a compelling issue for you to say, not the strike, but to say, okay, I'm just going to start creating my own product. I'm going to start, putting out my own information. Well, one thing, when you're the boss, and you get to say what happens, and you get to say you have the last word. What keeps you grounded to be able to wear these many hats and work in this very competitive business? And how do you stay focused?
I think it's between I'm very determined, and I can be very organized and focused and task oriented when I need to be. I'm not good at being very creative while being very logical, but I'm very good at both as long as I can turn the other one off.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when I get into development of a project, I can turn on my creative side and get all the everything in there that I want, and then I can shut it off and turn on the logical side, and then I can put everything into systems so that you get both the show and the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's my strength, is my ability to do both, because I've seen most people fall short because they're one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very artsy and they miss the business side of things, or maybe even that this needs to have commercial value, even. Or you become so commercial that you have no opinions, no thought, no originality. That so it looks great. It's you know perfectly done, but it has no soul.
Ah,
Uh, so I think when you
whoa!
find both,
Yeah.
that's where you find it.
And
When you can really get the show and the business, and I think I do that best by having one hat at a time,
uh-huh.
even though I wear a lot of them.
You just have to go here, go there,
Yep.
and it's a balancing act, and you have to be committed. You have to be able
Yeah.
to trust your judgment. And when you said that they make these great movies, but there's no soul in them, you
Yeah.
can see a soulless movie. You can see a soulless
Yeah.
television show, and you know that I'm hitting my mark. I got my
Yep.
words. I know where I'm going, and then
Yes.
they could turn it. They could just
Oh,
turn it off. See,
yes.
and I get that. I get the fact that you need, as an artist, that you need to be able to be in your creative space. And
Mm,
like you said, this is a business. It's
yeah.
show business. Okay, you know that you have the talent. That's the show part. You know you're good, you
Yep.
could sing, you can do
Mm,
this, that, and the third. Okay, now let's get down to the business. Are you getting your name, you're keeping control of your name, image, and likeness. I
yeah.
didn't even know what the heck that meant when I first heard it, but I was like,
Oh yeah.
as soon as they said we need control over your name, image, and likeness, this my favorite one I hate. Throughout all perpetuity. What the heck does that mean? Whether by means known or unknown. So they didn't
Yeah.
care if you could come up with something. When I got into this, we didn't have access to the
Oh yeah.
internet, but they want to own everything, and that's the problem with the
Yeah.
strike. What are your thoughts on how this strike, and is it affecting you? Can you still keep creating your product and just waiting for it to be distributed?
You know, yes and no. And I will say the strike is absolutely warranted, without a doubt. And this is not just in film. This is in America. The the haves and the have-nots have, it's just become absurd levels. If you think about what an average employee should make and what the ultimate boss should make, you know, 200 times maybe. I think we always talk about there's the minimum wage, but what about a maximum wage? Like, how much money do we really have to have? And could we not spread this wealth a little bit better? Could we not get people's stress levels down so that we can actually start doing, which what I think is best for mankind, is that people should do what they're called to do rather than what they're in fear of having to do because you're starving.
Mm.
Because when you're starving, there's no creativity. You're not hungry and learning to play the guitar. You're hungry and running, trying to get food. So
Right.
you can't be creative. You can't be intelligent. You can't be forward thinking when you're hungry. If
Mm.
we just fill people's bellies, we'll have a whole different life, a whole different people, and we would be doing what we're actually talented and meant to do. That's programmed into our heart and soul, that we somehow find at some point in life, and you say, wow, I wish I found this earlier because
Mm.
this is me. I've been searching for me my whole life and I was here. How cool.
How cool is that? And I think it's unfair with the studios. And they know me. They were like, "Oh Lord, here come Mother Love. She gonna have us. She gonna okay." I wouldn't have to put you on the carpet and call you on the carpet if you were doing what was fair. There,
Yeah.
none of us are asking for, astronomical. Well, we would like to get astronomical sums
Yes.
of money. No, no, let's not. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We do
Fair and
when you have
reasonable.
a passion for something, you'll never work a day in your life. And we are working to make a living. The studio. I know you heard this when the
Yeah.
studios. I'm not going to even mention who said it. Well, this strike won't take long because when they can't pay their rent, they can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay for their children's daycare. They're bringing their behind back to work. Really?
Well,
How about you start hurting?
I will say, SAG, in my opinion, should have handled this differently. If I was SAG and I realized that there weren't going to be negotiations coming in our favor, you should double down on the independent film community, and you should have made it super easy for independent film, and you should have fed them your biggest stars, and you should have given them all the give you could, because the audience is going to go to where the stars go. That's just how it is. So if you get them, you get the audience. So that would have given you negotiation power. And they would have had to get back to the table. They would have had to make a deal, because otherwise there would have been independent films breaking box office records instead of these studio films.
I don't know if your publicist Joe Williamson told you we don't do logic on the Mother Love show before 5 o'clock. Why are you making sense about this? Why are you what? I mean, how could you even string sensible sentences together and make it so clear and plain? This is what we do. And this is what we have to understand. There are so many creative people in this town and elsewhere that want to come to this town. And for the powers that be to have this kind of an attitude. See, I think they got a bad attitude. And I agree with you. Make your own product. Make your own films. Well, you know enough people that work in a business. You could put a crew together. It doesn't have to be like really, really top heavy. We've got so many avenues that we can work with, with the internet, and you can, fix stuff. My favorite thing when making a movie is when they go, okay, that's okay. We'll clean it up in post. I was like, what's that? This was enough. Check the gate. I'm down in Miami and I'm looking. We shooting this movie at a mansion, and they go check the gate, and I'm looking down the driveway. I'm like, what they looking for? Checking the gate. Wait, do I need to know what these people do? And I made it a point from that moment on to find out what everybody's position was, and the fact that it's a group thing. It is not like a star thing. It's nothing like that. It's a group effort. Even the worst movie, even the worst TV show has a group of people going, this is the worst TV show, but my check gonna clear, so I'm cool with that. And the way that the industry has changed so much. How has it changed for you? And especially coming from Sweden and coming and settling in Michigan, it's a good thing you're good looking, because you crazy in a bet. You would deliberately move. I love you for it. I love you for your crazy.
And you got to remember, I've moved south from Sweden to Michigan. It's actually south. Michigan Michigan is kind of in line with Paris.
Oh, really? I don't think I've ever heard those two words put together.
Yeah. It's pretty wild when you think about it, because I think people forget about the fact that it gets cold in Paris too in the winter.
Oh, I heard that. I told them I'm coming to Paris in a month. They got an R in it. That goes too.
Oh yeah.
It could snow in April. And listen, and the fact that so this really wasn't a big acclamation for you from going from Sweden to Michigan.
No, it was better weather than I'm used to.
You're saying some things I've never. Michigan has better weather than I'm used to. Okay, it must be really crazy.
See? Well, I'm sure if you ask people from Portland too, where doesn't it rain all the time?
Well, I know Seattle, it rains all the
Oh,
time.
Seattle.
It
Oh,
probably
okay.
it rains all the time. I mean, all day it
Yeah.
rained, and I was up there doing an event, and when I got up, it was raining. When we landed, it was raining. When I got up, it was raining. When we go to the event, it was raining. I'm like, what do I need to even put hair on? Is this gonna get wet? And the people in Seattle, Washington, make up for the rainy days. They really do. Just
I heard really good people, right?
they're really good people down on the ground. Michigans are the same way. When
Yeah.
we come from where we come from, we don't have time
Yeah.
to be BSing
No, so
around
it's
with people.
all real.
I'm allergic to BS, so don't I
Yep.
can smell it coming a mile away. Stop.
Yep.
Hey, and have you ever had to fire anybody on your
Well,
set?
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's just how it is with, I think, with anything. I think those things are really important for the people that hesitate. If you should let them go, let them go. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? To do it, because your whole team can be tainted if you don't. If somebody needs to go, and you for some reason protect them. I think about now all the executives that had the directors that were and producers that were predators, and they were protected by a lot of people.
Mm.
And I think we need to be better than that. I understand at some point there was unbeknownst powers that maybe people feared,
Mhm.
but I think we're in a different place right now. I think it is. I think we have to speak up against injustice. I think we have to.
What do they say? When you see something, say something. And you know when something is wrong, and to
Yep.
speak up, to the powers that be. You don't have to like beat them over the head, but just let them. And a lot of times they
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
unfortunately, they have this like, I gotta have the power. I gotta have control over your life. You can't tell me what to do. I had one of my bosses. I love him to pieces. He said to me, I have your life in my hands. And I did this. Okay, they didn't give me the Hollywood handbook, Harley. They forgot to say, okay, mother love,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
the directions, these are the instructions. You don't say this, you don't speak out, you don't, test somebody. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
didn't I come here, grown ass woman? Okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm supposed to act like a grown child. Okay, that's just not gonna work for me.
I,
We're adults in the room, and I would rather speak up than be silent when I know something is wrong. And
yeah.
and they don't want to be wrong. It's like the TSA operators at the airport. They do not want to be what is this? They tried to take I have type 2 diabetes, and I take my glucometer with me wherever I go. So
Yeah.
they're looking in my purse and they go, what's this? I said, it's my diabetes meter. Well, what do you need this for? I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. When did you become Dr. TSA?
Yeah. Right. Can I please get your medical opinion?
Yes, yeah, I'm waiting for that. I mean,
Oh
literally, they
wow.
literally took me out of the line and set me over here and had somebody come who knew what that was. And I was like, if I miss my flight, you know
Yeah.
y'all gonna give me 2 first-class tickets to someplace. I'm just letting you know.
Mhm.
You could be stuck on stupid. I could wait, but your stupidity is going to
Mhm.
cost you, and it's gonna cost you extra. And most people will not speak up. Most
Mhm.
people will not
Yeah.
speak out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you decide when you're speaking out and you're deciding on a project? What are your top three criteria that you need even when you're going into the idea and going into the pre-production of it? What's your process?
Well, I mean, I've always wanted to tackle moral dilemmas. That's one of the things that I like touching on in my films. I like having some sort of um, good versus evil, but not in traditional terms. And I like blurring the lines. So who is the real villain and who is the real hero? And I like to poke at people too, because people can be really judgmental. And if you give a character a nice arc, they can start somewhere and not end there at all. And another character could have the exact opposite. And I like challenging my audiences to think. So that's a big part. But I just recently finished a film called Finding Nicole, and it's a true story about a domestic violence case that got a lot of heat and ended up getting picked up on Inside Evil with Chris Cuomo, and we just did the film on that, and we just started at the film festival. We just won at the La Femme Film Festival in LA. It's a 19-year, very prestigious festival focusing on women and women's issues. So it was a huge honor to have that. But from doing something that's real and means things in real life, was a really different thing. Now, I grew up in a household with domestic abuse, so that's why I originally started tackling the story. And now I feel like this may be something that I want to do a lot more of, because I feel like it's more than just filmmaking now. I'm now also, hopefully, there's a young guy who sees himself and says, "Ooh, I don't want to become that monster," and he starts taking care of himself and changes his ways. Or a woman that sees the red signs about a violent man and says, "Oh no, that's not love. That's not love," and gets out, and that saves her life. That's the reality of when you make films with those kind of topics, is you can make a difference in real life for people. And what an amazing thing that would be. So that's become kind of a higher calling after making Finding Nicole, for sure.
So, having grown up in that kind of environment, how did you know, okay, Harley, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to do that. And you've seen this up close and personal. How were
Yeah.
you able to break that cycle?
I don't know. That was one of them things that I think, in hindsight, as an adult, I never felt like I chose anything. I immediately knew that it was wrong and disgusting, and that my job was to stand up against it. Even as a child, I
Mm.
get in the middle of it, and I've had my whoopings for it.
Did he
Um,
say whoopings? Okay, see, we here, baby, because we
all
don't
right,
get
good.
whipped. We get whoopings.
Yeah,
You get your
yeah,
behind whooped.
yeah,
You don't even
yeah.
understand. Now you in America. Now you can go to jail for disciplining your child. I wish I would have somebody come in my house and I'm paying the rent, light bill, gas bill, feeding you, clothing you, and you gonna talk to me crazy? I'm not the one. I told you I'm the crazy one, right?
Yeah, it's
You want to go
different
off
though.
on me? I'm gonna show you how. Let me show you what real crazy look like. Okay,
Well,
our son one
that's
day
the thing though.
you do
When real crazy is kicking you down the stairs and waking up with a knife to your throat, that's not okay.
no under any, and you knew this as a damn. See, and people don't realize
Yeah.
how painful that is for a child. And when
Yeah.
you have to speak, when you need to speak up as a child, you don't know anything about ramifications or, what are going to be the circumstances behind you
Yeah.
standing up, but you need to stand up. When
Yeah.
did you know that you had the wherewithal to not be that guy, to not allow that to happen in your life or with your kids or with your children in their lives?
Like I said, I instinctively knew it as a kid. I got in the middle and I got whooped. But I've been the same guy my whole life. If I see something that's wrong, if I see predatory behavior, I will stand up every time. I just will not. I will never allow a predator in my presence to especially when I see, if it's women, children, or elderly. You're gonna have to go through me. That's just how it
See,
is.
the people got to understand. There's a phrase that says, "If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything." And you
Yes.
have to be able to stand up and know where your metal is and what it is that you do, and how are you going to do it. How do you want to present yourself out here into the world? You are what's your biggest hat that you wear? Okay, dad and husband don't count. I mean, it does count, but
Oh,
after dad and husband.
oh God. I think I'm I at least what I want to be is, I want to be an inspiration.
Mhm.
That is probably the next most important thing to me, other than being a son and a father and a brother and a husband. Uh, when you step outside of that immediate core, I want to be an inspiration, because there are too many people that are saying no to their own dreams, and they're suffocating, and they're, we're on a rock with hot lava at the core. We are on top of this wild thing zipping through time and space, and we get one crack for all we know. I don't want people to live scared. I want people to say, I have purpose in my heart and soul. I want to find out what I was made to bless the world with, because we all have something that we are the only one that can do that one thing. And until we figure it out, we can't do any of that. So you just have to chase it with everything you got.
And a lot of people, I'm with you. I do not believe that anybody is on this earth by happen chance. I don't believe everybody that hits the planet has a purpose. Even a little baby who is born with Tay-Sachs disease, which is a horrible condition for a child, and the fact that this baby hit the planet to let other people know what it is, to make people aware. Okay, this is my dad, this is my mama. We both got this gene, and we don't want to talk about it. We want to sweep it up under the rug, pretend it doesn't happen, and it's like staring you in the face. And a lot of people, and I see this with women all the time, and sometimes I'm telling you, I be fit to be tied. I believe everybody has a purpose, and I hear women talk themselves out of success. Talk themselves. It's too big. It's too much. I can't do this. Oh, well, this is the kind of man I'm used to. This is how my father was. This is how my uncle is. I'm going to look for that same kind of guy. I'm like, no, we're not. And they talk themselves out of success. And why don't you do it? Why don't you step up and you say, oh, I can make purses? You think Kate Spade and Gucci and, Louis Vuitton, all of them said, oh, I can make a designer bag, but I'm too scared to do that. I'll tell you what they told me when I was going, scared money can't win. Scared money can't win. And you know what fear is? You know what fear stands for, right? False evidence appearing real. So if you done talked yourself out of success, out of job, a position that you are good at, I'm too scared. Because I get scared. I'm not fearful. I'm not, well, at this point in my life, I'm not fearful and I'm not frightened, because after you get to be my age, jail is not a deterrent for me. You come up, you get crazy, I will cut you. I will nick you desperately with a butter knife. And it's going to be rusty. They can't even make them. But I will nick you. I will speak up. Stop laughing. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Because you know sometimes you see and you hear people and you go,
I hear you.
If I could just open up a can of whoop, maybe that'd tighten them up. Maybe their mother and father didn't give them the mother love, the father love that they needed. And I know how that not having that connection to people that you love or are supposed to love you, how that could be devastating for you. Were you able to forgive the abuser in your family?
Yeah, so I was one of the very rare ones where my dad actually changed eventually. He took it on the chin, kind of went through rehab, worked all the way through his demons. And to be honest with you, most people that do stuff like that don't do it because they're bad or evil. They do it because they're broken.
What?
And until they get fixed themselves, they can't be good for others.
And
so
realize,
I think that's
realize that they're broken. And and a lot of men will not step up and stand up and say, what I'm doing is wrong. I want to be able to fix this. And somebody said something. Somebody said something to him, and it clicked in his head that I don't want to do this. I'm not.
He unfortunately lost it all first.
Sometimes that's what it takes. You got to get all the way down to the ground, and you might not think that that's good, but sometimes you got to just crawl on the ground and start getting up and start crawling and walking and getting up and realizing this is not who I am and this is not who I want to be.
The best thing about finding the bottom is that you have firm ground finally under your feet. and you can now spring off of that upwards and onwards and change everything.
For the better. And please,
Yes,
I
indeed.
only take from the best. I only say I'm
Yep.
walking with that one. What you just said,
Yep.
you know, when you're on the ground, you have nowhere to go but up.
That's
You know,
right.
and I've been under the ground. While when I looked up, I was seeing the bottom. It
Yeah.
got that bad. I was like, okay, I can do this. And I didn't think about the pain or anything, the scraped up knees, my forehead
Yep.
all tore up and everything. I went and got me a Band-Aid and, some duct tape. And you
Yeah.
have to find a way to stand in your purpose.
Yeah.
And you are standing in your purpose. Now you got this new movie that's been showing, Finding
Yeah.
Nicole, with very deep, emotional bonds to it. So who's in that movie?
So it's funny enough, is my wife plays the lead of Nicole,
Oh,
and no pressure or anything, but it was actually co-written by Nicole, and she was on set every day.
so
Could you
this
imagine the
Nicole is a real
pressure?
woman.
The real woman that almost lost her life was on with us virtually every day, and has been there through virtually every part of making this film. And we've been going with her to the Capitol. We've been talking about domestic violence and about the statistics, because they are unacceptable, and we have to say no. And that's what I'm really excited for more than anything with this film, is to be a part of that. Saying no more feels good, because we shouldn't have had at all been okay with any of these numbers.
And when they say, well, that's just how he is. No, no.
No,
You
no.
the fact that your father turned himself around, turned his life around after
Yeah,
losing everything. Now,
yeah.
is he still on the planet?
Yes, he is. We actually went home to Sweden this summer and spent some time with him and saw him.
How about that? So now tell
Yeah,
us about this other one. With that you're doing this.
beneath us all.
Uh See, I was trying to get it out. I could tell you. Beneath the one with Inside Evil Until Death Do Us Part.
No, that's Finding Nicole. That's the one we just
Oh, that's
talked
all
about.
Finding
Yes,
Nicole.
yes,
So
yeah.
this is, where do you see this going? And when can we see it? I mean, you're giving it all to the film festivals
The
and
yeah
everything.
the
So when do
we're
we get to see Finding Nicole, see what your wares are like?
so we are still we're still negotiating when it comes to
Mm,
the distribution. So we
mhm.
don't know just yet where the film will land. And this was the very first festival that we got notification from. So we're gonna give the festivals a little shout out at first.
Okay, and then when it comes out, make sure you have a distribution that it distributes right
Does that
here
make
with the
sense?
Mother Love Show. I'm just saying, I want to be in the loop there. So now, speaking of the loop and the work that you do, when it's all said and done, and it's time for you
Mhm.
to turn around and see what Harley Whalen's life is like, what do you want to leave for your legacy? Wait, did it stop? Wait, hold on. I was getting to the good part. Can you hear me?
Huh?
Harley? Oh, you stopped. Your face just
You
froze.
said when it's all said and done, and then I
I
lost
said,
you.
I said, when it's all said and done, and it's time for you to turn around and see what you've done, what do you want your legacy to be? It keeps stalling.
Oh
What is it?
yeah, I don't know what happened. The sound all of a sudden got.
It keeps shutting off. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe we're talking too much logic. Okay, can you hear me now? It's like, oh, I don't know. Uh, Okay, can you hear me?
I think we had some technical difficulties. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
hear you
having
now.
technical difficulties. Can you hear me now? Is that better? It keeps shutting off.
I do.
Okay, tell me what your
Yes.
legacy, what you want your legacy to be. Oh no! I done pushed the wrong button. Well, Harley, I want to thank you for being on the program with us. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Good luck on the on your film festival input May you continue to grow and flourish and do wonderful things. That was Harley Wallen, who is on the program, and we appreciate his talent and his passion and his love for people. And he continues to make great movies and great product. And babies, no matter how big or small, short or tall, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. We all need some mother love. I'm sending my love to you. And thank you, Joe Williamson, for having such a wonderful guest on your roster. Peace and blessings, my brothers.